Okay, hello TikTok Nation. So I'm just sitting out here in the car. It's a beautiful day where I am soaking up some sunshine. And I just wanted to tell you guys another little short story as I unpack some of my trauma. So most of my trauma from my childhood is centered around my father, which you all are probably aware of now. And this year in February was the 10-year anniversary of his death. And I think that kind of just hit me, and it made me want to deal with some things that I probably hadn't dealt with yet. This man's been dead for 10 years. And, sometimes he still haunts me. And I've got to take control of my life, and I've got to have the power, and I've got to be victorious over my thoughts, over my energy, over my spirit. I have to own it. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm doing it by the word of my testimony. That's what's going to free me. That's how I'm going to overcome, is by the word of my testimony. So, I remember very vividly, the night that I kind of gained a new fear. And for a long time, I had a fear of sleeping by windows. I would not sleep by a window, for anything. I would sleep on the floor before I slept by a window. So we were in bed one night, and my mom, she used to read to us before bed. I slept in the bed with my mom until I was in middle school. So she would read Judy Blume, she would read Maya Angelou, Nikki Giovanni, the Bible. She would just read, stuff to us. And so she was reading to us that night, and out of nowhere, I hear loud banging on the door. Boom, 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 boom. And then I what is that? It's late at night. We don't have visitors normally. So who's banging on the door? Is it the police? I mean, what is it? So it's my daddy. Let me in. Like, he's got a really deep voice. He said, let me in. He's screaming cuss words. My mama is telling me, shh, don't say nothing. Just be quiet. Like, why are we being quiet? He knows we're here. That's crazy, but okay, I'm going to be quiet. So we're quiet. He keeps banging on the door. Then I hear her say, Darryl, which that's my daddy's name. Darryl, you're drunk. Go home. So I was in elementary school. I might have been, if I had to guess, maybe third grade-ish, somewhere around there. So, and I know what drunk is by this age because my dad is always drunk. So he doesn't go away. He keeps banging on the door. And it's every time he bangs, with every bang, my heart just drops. It drops. It's like the height of the roller coaster. And then, phew, that part, my heart does that every single time because I'm scared. I have no idea what he's going to do. I know what he's capable of, but I don't know what he's going to do this time. What is it going to be this time? Is he going to leave it alone, or is he going to pick his battle, and this is going to be one of them? So it gets quiet for a couple of minutes. So I'm like, okay, he didn't pick this battle. He's going home, or he's going to go terrorize somebody else. Either way, I was fine with it. But then I heard banging on the back door. So he didn't go away. And the banging on the back door was just for a very short amount of time. And it was like, I knew something wasn't right. So that little bang I heard on the back door, and then bam, the back door was open. He broke in our house, y'all. Like, he did not live here. He was not on the lease. It was not entitled to be here whenever he wanted. He broke into our home. I didn't really realize that until I was an adult. Like, as a kid, I knew he came in without us opening the door, but because he was my father, I didn't, register the two things together as breaking and entering. But he broke into our home while we were in there in bed. So he comes in, and I don't remember exactly what happened between him and my mom when he came in. She did get up out of the bed. She went in the living room. I stayed in her room in the bed, and I just heard screaming, hollering, cussing, little, like stuff moving. I'm not sure what happened. My mom probably could tell me this story better, but I'm telling you from my perspective, from my child vision, what I remember. So I heard him saying stuff like, I'm not their daddy and such, and I'm not going to say the names that he said, but I do remember the two names very vividly that he said constantly all the time. that this is her daddy, this is his daddy, referring to me and my brother. That's not my son, that's not my daughter, this is their daddy, that's who you've been sleeping with. And my mom was not a promiscuous woman at all. I've never seen her have a boyfriend the whole time I was growing up. The only man I ever seen her around was my father, even though they were not together. At one point, he got married to another woman. That didn't last long. She was batshit crazy too. But I never seen my mom date or anything. All my mom did was take care of us and go to church. That's it. That's all she did. And she was the most righteous, most virtuous woman that I could even think of. Still not sure how I'm her daughter. But anyway, so they argue. He says we're not his kids, whatever. Eventually he leaves. But I say all this to say, I was afraid. Like, after that night, my daddy in my head was the boogeyman. Like, I couldn't sleep because is he going to break in here and do something crazy to us? He said I'm not his kid. So does that mean he doesn't care enough about me to not harm me? Like, I don't know. Obviously, I know he's capable of doing these crazy, wild things. So what's stopping him from doing something crazy to me? So at this point in my life, my fight or flight is going into flight. But not for much longer. I'm about in 3rd grade, 4th grade, somewhere around there at this time. And it ain't much longer before my fight or flight turns to fight. And I'm not going to keep putting up with the mess. Because at this point, now I'm a victim. But I don't want to be a victim. I want to take control of the situation. And I don't know really any ways to be healthy mentally and take control of the situation. I don't really know how to reach out and seek help. So I do it the best way I can. And it's not the right way, but it's the way that I knew to do. And it's what I had figured out on my own with no help, because obviously my mom is in the situation too, and she's a victim also. But for whatever reason, she chose to just endure it. But that's not what I wanted to do. She chose that for us, and I don't fault her for that. But that's not what I wanted. Like, I wanted to fight back. I wanted to get up from under this man. I wanted to free us from this man and his evil, wicked ways. We didn't have to put up with that. Like, I don't know why we was. It wasn't financial. I'm not saying he didn't contribute financially, but we could have did it without him financially. It wasn't for support. I don't know. Maybe she needed him to help take care of us, but I don't think that was what it was, because she was more than capable of doing that on her own, which she did. He was in and out of jail a lot, and we were just fine. So it was really for no other reason than she wanted us to have a father. That's not the father we needed. It caused more damage than anything, and I think my brother will agree. We've had discussions about it before. We would rather our dad had just went on about his business. We would rather our mom have said, to hell with you. I'll raise these kids on my own. But I don't want to get too worked up. Stay tuned. I'm going to be posting more. The next one, I'm going to start letting y'all know about how my flight turned into fight. So stay tuned.